turned to fiery red. That was the last Sunday they had, for he spoiled it all that night. He couldn't help it. They were walking through the March twilight where it was as warm as June, and the joy of youth filled his soul so that he felt he must speak. "I think," he said, and his voice trembled, "that if I lost faith in you, I'd lose faith in God." She looked at him with such a startled face that he asked her the matter. "Nothing," she said slowly. "Only this. 5 men have said that to me before, and it frightens me." "Oh, Clara, is that your fate?" She did not answer. "I suppose love to you is—" he began. She turned like a flash. "I have never been in love." They walked along, and he realized slowly how much she had told him. Never in love. She seemed suddenly a daughter of light alone. His entity dropped out of her plane, and he longed only to touch her dress, with almost the realization that Joseph must have had of Mary's eternal significance. But quite mechanically he heard himself saying: "And I love you. Any latent greatness that I've got is... Oh, I can't talk, but Clara, if I come back in 2 years in a position to marry you..." She shook her head. "No," she said. "I'd never marry again. I've got my 2 children, and I want myself for them. I like you. I like all clever men, you more than any. But you know me well enough to know that I'd never marry a clever man." She broke off suddenly. "Amory." "What?" "You're not in love with me. You never wanted to marry me, did you?" "It was the twilight," he said wonderingly. "I didn't feel as though I were speaking aloud. But I love you, or adore you, or worship you. There you go, running through your catalogue of emotions in 5 seconds." He smiled unwillingly. "Don't make me out such a lightweight, Clara. You are depressing sometimes." "You're not a lightweight of all things," she said intently, taking his arm and opening wide her eyes. He could see their kindliness in the fading dusk. "A lightweight is an eternal nay." "There's so much spring in the air, there's so much lazy sweetness in your heart." She dropped his arm. "You're all fine now, and I feel glorious. Give me a cigarette. You've never seen me smoke, have you? Well, I do, about once a month." And then that wonderful girl and Amory raced to the corner like 2 mad children gone wild with pale blue twilight. "I'm going to the country for to-morrow," she announced, as she stood panting, safe beyond the flare of the corner lamp-post. "These days are too magnificent to miss, though perhaps I feel them more in the city." "Oh, Clara," Amory said, "what a devil you could have been if the Lord had just bent your soul a little the other way." "Maybe," she answered, "but I think not. I'm never really wild and never have been. That little outburst was pure spring." "And you are, too," said he. They were walking along now. "No, you're wrong again. How can a person of your own self-reputed brains be so constantly wrong about me? I'm the opposite of everything spring ever stood for. It's unfortunate, if I happen to look like what pleased some soppy old Greek sculptor, but I assure you that if it weren't for my face I'd be a quiet nun in the convent without..." Then she broke into a run, and her raised voice floated back to him as he followed. "My precious babies, which I must go back and see." She was the only girl he ever knew with whom he could understand how another man might be preferred. Often Amory met wives whom he had known as debutantes, and looking intently at them imagined that he found something in their faces which said, "Oh, if I could have only gotten you!" Oh, the enormous conceit of the man! But that night seemed a night of stars and singing, and Clara's bright soul still gleamed on the ways they had trod. Golden, golden is the air, he chanted to the little pools of water. Golden is the air, golden notes from golden mandolins, golden frets of golden violins, fair, oh, wearily fair. Skeins from braided basket, mortals may not hold, oh, what strong extravagant god who would know or ask it? Who could give such gold? End of this part of chapter 4.